Up first, we have Farm to School Month in Ann Arbor Public Schools. Dr. Swift.
Thank you. Madam President, trustees, members of the community, we're delighted to have Ms. Bacalor come forward. And I just want to give a shout out to Ms. Neha Shah, who's out there, who is our an overachiever, I'll say it that way, with school gardens, and I'm sure Ms. Bacalor will share more specifics. But this month, Ann Arbor Public Schools has joined over 5,000 school districts nationwide to celebrate Farm to School Month. Our AAPS Farm to School Collaborative has organized numerous events to celebrate. I think almost every day there's something on Twitter about a tasting or a harvesting. It's just, if we had time, trustees, we could run around and enjoy all of this stuff coming out of the farms. Students across the district have enjoyed spending time in their own school gardens, trying Michigan-grown produce, and learning about agriculture. And you know, trustees, for some of our most vulnerable and needy students, consuming those vegetables at school is a wonderful, enriching experience for them, and they're learning far more than just about the vegetable in that process. Ms. Bacalor is here this evening representing the Ann Arbor Public Schools Farm to School Collaborative, and she'll share the activities of how they connect to school district priorities. So with that, Ms. Bacalor.
Good evening, trustees and Dr. Swift. I'm really happy to share a lot of amazing, beautiful pictures of kids enjoying themselves in our schools with you tonight. And I am here representing a very passionate group of people, and I have included on your place the list of our steering committee members, the people who are on the steering committee of the Ann Arbor Public Schools Farm to School Collaborative truly care about students having those opportunities to try local food and grow their own food. So there are a lot of cute pictures ahead. All of the pictures in this presentation were taken this month. So tonight I'm going to quickly talk about Farm to School's core elements, why we want to do it, how it connects to our district priorities, and then what we've done to celebrate this month. And this first picture is from the Slauson School Garden. Those are some things that were picked and then incorporated into different recipes for all the students at Slauson to try. The core elements of Farm to School might be familiar to you. They're education, school gardens, and procurement, which is just another word for purchasing. And these are the three core elements that the Farm to School Collaborative is organized around and spend a lot of time promoting. Next, please. As Dr. Swift mentioned, we are in good company. As of 2015, we had over 5,000 districts across the country who were involved in Farm to School, and over 7,000 gardens. This year, 2019, is another Farm to School census year. So just this week, AAPS is turning in our new information, and we've done a lot more as well. So I'm sure those numbers are going to grow hugely. So why do we want to do Farm to School? First, because of student health and well-being. It really promotes healthy eating, physical activity, and also social emotional well-being, which I'll talk about a little bit more. It's also really supportive of student learning. Farm to School offers those authentic settings that you hear about nowadays as being places where teaching and learning can really stick, hands-on learning, engaged learning. And also, Farm to School connects deeply with the community value in Ann Arbor around growing local food, trying local food, and supporting farmers. And it also has environmental benefits. So this all sounds great, right? All well and good. Sounds like a nice thing to do. But how does it connect to our district priorities? That is the question. So I'm going to kind of toggle back and forth these next few slides between district priorities and how Farm to School positively impacts those priorities, and talk about what we're doing in Farm to School Month. So let's start with the connection between our top priorities and school gardens. So first, of course, one of our top priorities is student achievement. And school gardens, there's more and more research coming out that they truly are a learning lab for all different subject areas, not just science, which is sort of the obvious one that people think about. There are more studies coming out showing that garden-based learning can boost academic achievement. It's a different environment. It can be project-based, place-based, and I just had to include this little pun for you just to make sure you're still paying attention. It can ground students in their local soil and climate where they can ask meaningful questions about their world. So another district priority that's really been emerging the last few years is around social emotional skill development. And I want to point out this picture is of Samantha Cuckoo, and that's spelled C-U-C-U. And she is an intervention specialist at Lakewood and Abbott, and she has put in a Lakewood sensory garden. And it's a place, in not just sensory gardens, but all school gardens have been studied and shown that students feel calm and safe and happy in those spaces. They offer, especially in the sensory garden, all different sights and smells and things to touch that feel different and sounds different from the regular classroom. So it can feel like a break and just kind of getting out of your headspace for a second to go into the garden. The gardens also are a very welcoming space for those skills that we're trying to build in children, interpersonal skills, team building, problem solving, etc. So how are we making an impact this month, and how are we spotlighting this month? So tomorrow morning we're actually having a showcase at Lakewood of teaching and learning in the vegetable and herb garden and SEL in that sensory garden from the previous slide. And we're excited to have students go through centers in the gardens where you'll be able to see math, science, ELA, and tech actually happening in the garden and what that looks like for students to be engaged in that way. A2 STEAM has really done a great job this fall with their farm stand. I think every Thursday they are harvesting from their garden and including other ingredients too, and then selling different products at their farm stand. And of course that has lots of different educational aspects to it. Individual teachers are also supporting core subjects. I just put up there the Burns Park ELA lesson going on. Lakewood, their international garden, has every language, and well, not every language obviously, but most the languages that are most common in their ELL population. And of course you see the Battle of the Root Veggies going on. That was at Clegg, and this type of agricultural education is happening all over the place this month as well. All right, other district priorities that we have are around student well-being and the whole child. Health and well-being and access and equity are things that we're working on every day in a lot of ways, and Farm to School makes a great impact here. We know that for students from poverty, the school environment is providing much of the calorie intake every day. So having a larger variety of produce is really helpful. Having more access to produce is really helpful. We know that sometimes the school food service may not be able to offer such a huge variety, and Farm to School can come in and do that and entice students to try other things, which leads to more intake. The tastings are also occurring outside of meal service most of the time, which is just another opportunity to eat fruits and vegetables. And giving students the opportunity to grow and try their own food, ooh, that got louder, is also shown to help students increase their intake. And right now, we know that less than 25% of U.S. children are getting their recommended fruit and vegetables intake every day, and Farm to School plays a major role there. And what have we been doing this month to do that? Seed to plate tastings all over the place. We've had 10 this month. More of them. We're going to try to hit every single school this year. They introduce students to a variety of produce, some of which is harvested from the garden. Burns Park is a great example. They're not on the slide, but the children did a ton of harvesting in Neha's class, and that was the first picture in the presentation, was all of them proudly holding up what they had produced. This also includes a lot of nutrition and agricultural education, and it's just fun. The kids love it. They're just happy. And we like to have happy students as well, right? All right, so the final area isn't necessarily a district priority, but it's definitely a community value and priority that we as a school district can help support. And that is supporting Michigan and local agriculture through our own purchasing as a large institution that is feeding a lot of people every day. So we have participated in Michigan's 10 cents a meal grant program. Unfortunately, this was one of the line item vetoes on September 30th that I hope gets put back in because it really gives us more flexibility to order and purchase Michigan-grown produce. That produce has been incorporated into meal service entrees and our salad bars. And the other thing about this that I think is really cool is that we are showing that there are careers in agriculture, and our great partner, the Agrarian Adventure, has a Farmer in the Classroom program, and because Michigan has the second most diverse crop yield next to California, there are lots of opportunities to be in different types of agriculture, food service, culinary careers in Michigan. So what have we been doing this month to celebrate? Chartwells has had a bonanza of all kinds of Michigan produce, and I've listed it all here. And I've just done a little screen capture of October 21st off the elementary menu, which has 5 different Michigan products listed in green as being local. It's usually Michigan grown, not necessarily right, within 10 miles of our school district, but sometimes it is. All right, who wants to see more pictures of happy kids? Yeah, everybody, right? There they are. It was really hard to choose these pictures. I have about 1 million more. Neha sent me a ton. And it's almost just this little festive event when it can happen. The other thing that we're doing is engaging students in different ways when they do a tasting. They're voting on their favorite herb, or they're voting in different ways and interacting and learning about that crop. And now is a time when I need to say some humongous thank yous, especially to Project Healthy Schools and Chartwells. Project Healthy Schools is a truly wonderful partner. We're so lucky to have them in AAPS. And Jana Stewart, who is the coordinator who serves our district, has dressed up as a carrot and as a strawberry, and she is out there cooking different food and really engaging with students to taste and try different things. And Chartwells also has provided 3 different tastings this month. And so we're just very lucky to have partners who are engaged in Farm to School here. And then another shout out to our Farm to School collaborative, including, you're still here, good, I'm pointing backwards, Neha Shah from Burns Park, who is the co-chair of the Farm to School Collaborative Steering Committee. So thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Bachelor.
Thank you, Ms. Beck.